Welcome back. An open house seat in Maryland attracted a lot of attention during the primaries earlier this year. On this show, we talk with 19 of the 20 candidates seeking the 6th district seat. We are now down to the final 2 ahead of November, a race that will determine which party controls the House come January among many House seats. The Democratic nominee is April McClain-Delaney. She's back up late with me here on the Final 5. Welcome back.
And thank you for having me back. You've been incredible about having us on the show, and now I'm the Democratic nominee. Yeah,
the last time we saw you was the night before. You won that primary, 40% of the vote in a really crowded field out there. And more significantly, very quickly soon thereafter, a lot of your Democratic opponents said they were going to support you in this race. How important is this race as we look ahead towards November?
Well, first of all, it's an incredibly important race because this is the one competitive district in all of Maryland that could be actually, I think, one of the top competitive, maybe 10 or 15 in the country that could turn the House one way or another. And obviously, for us, it's very important to flip the House.
You had mentioned this on your website, but there was a lot of talk over the last week about a poll that came out. It was a Gonzales poll. It has your Republican challenger, Neil Parrott, up by 2%. However, the margin of error is like 5.6%, and it was only a couple hundred people. But regardless, it shows you in this race, in this widely spread out district, that every vote's going to matter.
Well, it is going to matter, and I think that, you know, and you're right, these polls, I mean, some polls have me up 2%, Parrott up 2%, 5% margin of error, but I think what's important to know is that it is highly competitive, and as they say, an old axiom is that, you know, elections are decided by those who show up to vote. Yeah. But I really feel that my common sense, common ground message will resonate, and that as more and more people get to know me, that they're going to vote for me because I have the kind of the solutions, I believe, that will be best for this district.
I know I asked you this in the context of the primary, but I want to ask you again tonight. You mentioned common sense. How do you define that in the context of this race?
I'm glad you asked that. That's very important. Well, you know, I think that all of us would agree that our politics is too partisan, divided, and divisive and toxic, and kind of our communities are coming apart at the seams. And in fact, you know, we're not getting anything done. So I am a common sense, common ground Democrat, who's committed to really getting things done. I'm a mother of 4, and you know, I really believe that we need to focus on the issues of struggling families who are trying to make ends meet, and also as the mother of 4 daughters, of really focusing on codifying our reproductive freedoms and reproductive justice, so to speak. I will say on the flip side is that I'm running against Neil Parrott, who is more radical than most people in his own GOP party. I mean, incredibly radical in terms of being named by Maryland Matters the least effective member of the state legislature. Things like, banning abortion, even in the life of the mother, incest or rape, weakening domestic violence laws, and even really attacking people with HIV, calling for tattooing of HIV-positive people and denying life-saving medicine. Those type of focusing on that as opposed to, helping common sense solutions with working families, I think that that's a stark message, and people want to move on from the divisiveness. So that is what common sense is. It's kind of moving on, turning the page, and figuring out a way that we can, work on the issues of inflation and affordability and our immigration and all of these big issues that are really facing our country.
Yeah, it does seem like the economy, if you look at many polls out there, that seems to be a major concern for people. But just as you mentioned, Neil Parrott, he did wanted to push for a 20-week abortion ban in Maryland. On the flip side, though, one of the groups supporting him is Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America. They call you an extremist who wants to impose all trimester abortions even when babies feel pain.
Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, I have 4 daughters. I would never call for that, and it just shows of the amount of extremism that they're just throwing out. Oh, she's super liberal. Oh, she's not about common sense. Oh, she would do all of these incredibly radical things. That's not who I am, and anyone who has known me my entire life, driving consensus through nonprofit, government, business, I've never been like that. If anything, I've always tried to forge compromise and to move ahead. So I would disagree strongly with that.
Just as we talk about what you could potentially do, and we're just in our last minute here, but as you look ahead, economic measures. What would be a day one priority? Obviously, we don't know who's going to control the House come January, but what would you like to see the Congress move ahead with if you were to be elected by the voters in the 6th District?
So day one, I mean, I would obviously sign on to codifying reproductive health and reproductive rights for my girls, because I think that's very important. Number two, I really do think that there's a ton of things that need to be done, but, you know, securing our borders, I mean, dealing with the asylum mess. We had a bipartisan piece of legislation that almost moved forward and would have had maybe our former President Trump not stopped it. For me, it's also putting bumpers and safeguards on big tech and dealing with how mental health impacts our kids vis-a-vis and their privacy vis-a-vis, you know, all the platforms. And then, you know, tackling issues of affordability, looking at the child tax credit, and thinking about how we can really help working families make ends meet. Those are the things people care about, not focusing on radical, extreme social issues. And people want to turn the page. And I feel like that message is resonating. There's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of door knocking, and particularly following the convention, I just see this energy building, particularly among independents, because I always said this is a huge district all the way from Montgomery County to Allegheny and Garrett. And so figuring out how to drive investment, drive resources, and really give good paying jobs is where people want to be and what they want to talk about.
No, you probably know 70 and 270 like the back of your hand at this point. So.
Oh, and infrastructure. Oh my gosh, we got to widen 270. You know, going north, and really, that's about safety as much as economic development.
Let's continue the conversation before Election Day. April McClain-Delaney, great to see you again.
Thank you so much
for coming
for
in
having
tonight.
me. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Take care.
We appreciate it. Final Five is back after this.